Hi, friends. It's story time. I'm going to tell you a story that I call He Called Me Dinzie. Sit down around the fireplace and enjoy. Hi, everyone. I hope you all found a spot around the fireplace. Get yourself comfy because I'm going to share a ghost story with you. I really don't want to call it a ghost story per se, but it definitely has that feel to it for me. So I'm going to call it that. This story actually happened when I was around 7 years old, and it involved one of my uncles, who was one of my beloved favorite uncles around. His name was Uncle Richard, and he always affectionately called me Dinzie. I am not sure how he came up with that name. A lot of people told me he came up with the name because I was so small. I guess I don't know, but it was a nickname that he gave me, and he always used it. He never called me by my first name. He always called me Dincie, and even a lot of my aunts and uncles would say too that he never called any of my other cousins by any other name but the ones that they were given. So it was always a favorite thing for me to be around my Uncle Richie when before he passed away. Now this story actually took place when I was living in Ontario, Canada, and he was actually living in Alberta. Now, when I was younger, I didn't realize how sick he was because I was so young. My family decided not to tell me how sick he was. So this is why when he passed away, it was a very, very big surprise, and it hit me hard when it happened. But it probably wouldn't have hit me so hard if my little encounter before it happened. When I was living in Ontario, when I was in bed, and I'm not sure what time it was, I remember waking up late at night and I had to go to the washroom. So I went and did my business, and when I came back, I was laying in bed and I couldn't quite fall asleep. I was thinking to myself, going, it felt like there was somebody in the room with me. And now I know for a fact I was fully awake when this was going on. Um, I'm very in tune to my dreams, and I can tell the difference when I'm in them and when I'm not. So this definitely was not the case. Well, anyway, while I was laying in bed, all of a sudden here I hear my name being called. Dincie, wake up. Dincie. Now I was just like right away, Uncle Richard is here. This is so cool. I didn't know he was coming for a visit. And so all of a sudden I was like looking around the room, and I was just like going, I was even calling out his name. I'm going, Uncle Richard, where are you? And he said, well, I'm right here. And all of a sudden it seemed like it came out of nowhere, where all of a sudden he was standing beside my bed. And I instantly jumped up and I gave him a hug, and I was so excited to have him there. And I was just like, you know, why didn't you tell me you were coming for a visit? Mom and Dad never mentioned that you were coming. And he says, well, I'm just here for a quick visit. I just wanted to come by and tell you that I love you very much, and that I'm going to be I'm always going to be watching over you. Now, because of my young age, I didn't quite understand what he was talking about, but I was like, oh, I felt loved, so much love coming off of him at that point. So after I gave him a hug, and he kind of just stood there, and he was just kind of just looking at me, and he said, I want you to crawl back in the bed and go to sleep. And, well, there was no way in heck I was going to do that because I was so excited to have him there. And then all of a sudden, he just kind of disappeared. But at that time, I wasn't too sure if he disappeared like right in front of my eyes. But here I thought maybe he left the room, and so here I started chasing him, trying to find him. And I started actually getting quite upset because I was calling his name and I couldn't find him anywhere. And I'm just like, Uncle Richie, where are you? Where are you? I'm running around the house. Until finally I was actually starting to cry, and I went into my mom's room, my parents' room, and woke them up, and I said, where's Uncle Richie staying? What room is he in? I can't find him. And they said, well, Uncle Richie's not here. I said, yes, he is. He just visited me. He was in my bedroom. What do you mean he's not here? And I was actually getting very upset about this because I was devastated to the fact that I couldn't find him, and then my parents are saying that, well, he was never here. So after they were able to get me to calm down, and they told me you need to go back to sleep, I was actually eventually was able to fall back to sleep. Now the next morning was was hard because when I woke up, I went downstairs, still quite upset because I couldn't find Uncle Richard. But when I went down there, I saw my mom and my dad both sitting at the table. Mom was crying and dad was visibly upset. And I went up to them and I said, what's wrong? And then that's when they told me that my Uncle Richie passed away the night before. And I remember just standing there in shock, looking at them, going, "What do you mean he passed away before? He was just here. It was probably not even more than 5 hours before this that he was actually in my room." And I was so adamant on it that they actually started getting upset with me because I don't know. I think they probably thought I was maybe mocking things. But I said, no, he's not dead. He was here. And it took them quite a while to get me to understand that he did pass away. And now it was probably about a week or so later that when I was talking with my grandma on the phone, I wasn't allowed to go to the funeral. They thought I was too young to go. And I was talking to my grandma on the phone, and she even asked me what happened that night because my mom was upset with me and didn't know how to handle it, and she told her mom. And I told grandma the whole story. And then that's when she kind of said, "Dan, well, do you remember what time this occurred?" And I'm just like going, and like sitting there trying to go back in my memory, thinking, did I look at a clock when I woke up? And I think it was around 2:30 or 3 o'clock. I think that had happened. And she said, "Well, Uncle Richie passed away at around 2:45 that night." Now it just, and and when she heard about this, she said, "Well, you were one of his favorites. He loved you so much that he had to come see you before he passed on." And she even said that she absolutely believes me when I tell her this story, that it did occur. This was not a dream. In no way was it a dream. And even now, throughout my life, I'm 38 now, so this happened 31 years ago. That even now, these happen in my dreams, but he will show up in my dreams, and he'll just be standing there, just watching me. I don't get any other feeling from him than just absolute, complete love. Now, many times in these dreams, there's no sense to why he should be there, but he's there. And when I look back, when I try and figure out what's going on in my life at that time when he shows up, it definitely happens around when I'm depressed or I'm stressed out. That's when he shows up. And I definitely get like I feel so different when I wake up from these dreams. Like a weight has been lifted. So definitely, my Uncle Richie is my guardian angel. I know he's there. He's always watching over me. So this video is dedicated to him with all my love. And I hope you guys enjoy. We'll talk to you guys later. Have a good night, everyone.